Child deaths are always horrifying and heartbreaking. But when they play out in the full glare of the media, it becomes all the more shocking. And the reason that this particular case grew so quickly was through the plausibility of the story that was offered for the disappearance of the incredibly handsome little 2-year-old. Even as it was playing out, many people felt that something was off, that something was just not right with the way the parents of the child were behaving. When the truth was revealed, that feeling of offness was absolutely right for one of them, while the other remained, and indeed remains, much more of a grey area. But before I keep waxing cryptic any further, let's get into it. With a trigger warning for the death of a toddler, we're heading to Las Vegas in 2021 to look at the disappearance of Amari Nicholson. This is Murder of Crows. There is a reason that Las Vegas is called Sin City, and it's not the tragic story I will be telling you shortly. Sin City refers to the indulgent excesses in all forms of adult entertainment, all wrapped up in a brightly lit, shiny and campy, glittery wrapping. Gambling, showgirls and alcohol were all freely available at a time when these activities were illicit. And Vegas came to represent all things naughty and perhaps a little bit spicy. Founded as a community in the modern sense in 1905, the reputation for underground activities began with the workers that were building the Boulder Dam, later to be known as the Hoover Dam. These workers seeking things to do in their downtime. So the 1930s saw Vegas harvesting gambling licenses for numerous hotels. And then Vegas' reputation for bright lights began with the city being the first customer for the massive electricity supply from the new Boulder Dam, later to be known as the Hoover Dam. In the post-war years after the Second World War, the links between Vegas and gangsters and organised crime were initially forged. And this in turn was glamorised with the Rat Pack and other celebrities popularising the city both on and off screen. Since those heady and decidedly hedonistic days, much has been done to try to legitimise and sterilise the reputation of the city. Certainly in terms of the seedier aspects of its nature. There is a reason why the phrase "what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas" began, and also why it remains widely used. But there was something that happened in Las Vegas in May of 2021 that didn't stay in Vegas. It went global very, very quickly. Amari Nicholson was a very handsome little man. He was being raised by his mum, Taylor Nicholson, and his de facto stepdad, Terrell Rhodes, in Las Vegas. Amari's dad was a man named Giorgio Hayes, who lived in Reno. It would be fair to say that Taylor and Terrell Rhodes' relationship was volatile and tempestuous. But he was a father figure to Amari, and it seemed that the relationship between Child and Rhodes was a good relationship. But by April of 2021, Taylor and Rhodes were seemingly approaching the end of their relationship. And an accident that Taylor's mother, Carrie Howard, had in the April, leaving her needing additional care and support for a time, allowed Taylor to go to help her mother in Colorado and allow her and Rhodes to have some space from each other for a while, in the hopes that a break from each other would clarify what they both wanted going forward. Taylor took the decision at this time to leave Amari with Terrell Rhodes to avoid any upheaval to the little man, and Rhodes and Amari had a good relationship anyway. So Amari was left with Rhodes while she went to help her mother. While she was away, Taylor seemed to decide that the relationship was over. And even though Amari was still with Rhodes at this time, she suggested to Rhodes that someone would come to collect a few things from home that she would need in Colorado. And it seems that this suggestion became something of a significant miscommunication between Taylor Nicholson and Terrell Rhodes. And this would result in a tragic misunderstanding. At this time, the couple, along with Amari, were living at the Emerald Suites in the region of Twain and Paradise in Las Vegas. On May the 5th, someone called at their apartment and said that they were there to pick up Amari. At this point, Rhodes thought that this is what Taylor had meant when she said that someone would call by. But of course he was still quite unsure. So as he was getting a bag of Amari's things ready, he called Taylor Nicholson to see if someone was meant to be coming by to pick the 2-year-old up. By the time he had established that no one was meant to come to pick up Amari, the visitor had scooped up the toddler and left the apartment, and wasted no time in leaving the entire complex. The 2-year-old had disappeared, but there was a lead. Rhodes believed it was a sister of Amari's biological father that had come to collect the toddler. Now, Taylor called the police from Colorado to begin the process of looking for the little man before she began the process of rushing back to Las Vegas to be there should anything happen.
Wednesday, May 5, 2021, 0701 and 57 seconds.
I submitted Archambault 17420.
Hi, I need to report an Amber Alert.
Okay, who's missing that you know?
My son,
How old's your son?
he'll be 3 in October.
Where did you last see him?
My apartment, somebody came knocking on the door. My boyfriend thought it was related to us, and she ran out the door with my baby.
Okay, what address did this happen at?
It's the Emerald Suite, Building J, off the Convention Center, Paradise and Twain. I'm in Colorado visiting my mom right now, so I'm not in Vegas.
Did somebody
but
already
I'm
call
catching the
this
first
in?
flight. No, I'm the first person.
Okay, also you said Paradise Convention Center. Let me see. Give me one moment. Why didn't anybody call this in earlier?
I just found out about it. It just happened.
Oh no, why didn't they call police?
They called me and I panicked and called you guys.
So I know they're building J. Do you know what unit or apartment number they're at?
It's on the inside building. We just moved right before I had left town, so I don't know what the apartment number is, but it's building J on the courtyard side, and it's the 3rd floor corner building all the way to the top left.
Okay. And then, so do we know who might have taken the child, or no idea?
At this point, I don't know because nobody knows where we live. But he claims that she said that she was my baby daddy's sister, but I don't talk to any of his family, and he's not on the birth certificate. He has no rights to my son.
So he gave this girl
the
child, and then they left. Is that right?
He was packing my son's clothes, and she ran out the door with him.
Okay. Let me see. Give me one moment. So this would be your ex-boyfriend's sister, technically, right?
I'm sorry, what?
This is your ex-boyfriend's sister, correct?
Yeah. Here, this who is like, I'm sure, I don't even know really. I'm sorry.
Do we know how long ago we last saw the kid?
Maybe 30 minutes.
Do we know which way they went?
No.
Okay. Do we know if they left on foot or in a vehicle?
Wearing a gray Adidas sweater with sweatpants.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before we get to that, do we know if they left on foot or in a car?
Or in a car.
What color, make, and model car were they driving?
He wasn't able to see it.
Okay, that's
he
okay.
was still in the apartment when she ran out.
Okay. I already have a call set up, so I just need some more info. I want to clarify, there is no child custody paperwork involved, right? Or do you have full custody?
I have full custody.
Okay.
My baby daddy was abusive to me when I was pregnant, and he went to prison for 2 years for beating on me when I was pregnant. And so he has no rights, no nothing, shouldn't be in contact.
Okay, understood.
But one of the first decisions that the couple, now united in their concern for Amari, made was to approach the media without letting the authorities know. Meaning that the media push that followed was as much a surprise to the police that it was to everyone else. And Taylor Nicholson's lack of affect, for want of a better word, along with Terrell Rhodes' general demeanour during the media appearance, set off alarm bells with the press and with the police alike.
Message to the public is, we miss our baby boy, and if he's watching, mommy and daddy loves you, and we hope you get home soon and safely. To the public, just share our posts on Facebook, share the news reports, and try to get the word out and his picture around, and keep on a lookout to be able to find where he is and to be able to bring him home back safe and sound. My mom got attacked by a dog, and it chewed her tendon in her ankle, so she had to have 2 hours of surgery and over 60 stitches, so she was crippled, not able to walk. So I left on Friday to go to help take care of her, and I had only been gone 4 days before I woke up to a phone call saying my son was gone. And when I found that out, I hopped in the car and drove 2.5 hours to get to the airport, since it's a small little country city, and hopped on the next plane and landed in Vegas around 2:30, and then that's when the search was able to happen. I had called police at 7 in the morning to be able to report him as the missing child, and the responders came out, and one called and spoke to me over the phone, the other talked to my boyfriend about the situation of what happened, and they had a misunderstanding and canceled the search, and so my son was missing for 8 hours with nobody looking for him. And then when I came in town and they were finally able to speak to me is when they finally were able to report him as missing. And they've searched everything and trying to do what they can. We just wish it was, a little bit more.
From my knowledge, I was already notified that somebody would be coming over, but I didn't think when, I didn't know when, I didn't expect when, and then when somebody did come, they notified themselves as my girlfriend, baby daddy's sister. And they said they was here to pick up Amari. And notified me that it was already prearranged. So, from my understanding, from already being told by my girlfriend that somebody would be over, I wasn't told who, I wasn't told when, but I still had that in the back of my mind. So when that person knocked on the door, that's what my mind recommended right back to. So that's who I thought was there to pick up Amari. And as I'm finna call my girlfriend and pack his bag at the same time, she says that they already got everything that they need for him, and I don't need to pack anything. He'll be fine. And she recollected and she proceeded out the door. And as I'm on the phone trying to call my girlfriend, my last look of her, it was just walking down the stairs. So I closed the door and I started calling my girlfriend over and over until she answered the phone, and I asked her, was anybody supposed to come that day to pick up Amari? And she said no. I said the lady just came to the door, says that she's her baby daddy's sister, and they just picked up Amari. And she started freaking out. That's when I ran out the door and immediately start combing the area, looking around, see what I can. And I ain't see nothing. Bring our son back, wherever you at. Bring him back, like immediately.
It's disgusting. I mean, he's a helpless 2-year-old. He's tiny and can't fight back. He doesn't know where he's at, doesn't know where mommy and daddy are, because we're the only 2 people that he knows. And he needs medicine. He's scared. He doesn't know who these people are. And we just asked to bring him back safe and sound because he doesn't deserve this. This is not okay.
And what's really sickening is that people is making assumptions, thinking that I have something to do with it, that I have her manipulated in some way, which that's sickening to me also, because he love us. I mean, we had never do nothing like that to him.
To be, huh?
Apparently not now.
So we're just waiting, hoping something pops into the air, someone slips up, and he's able to return home.
Probably right now.
So we're gonna try to plan out a search party for him. See how that works. How we're gonna do the best we can and do whatever we can to find him.
We're going to create the search party on Facebook, and a Facebook event that's going to be public, and we try to advise anyone who's free and not doing anything to come out and try to help us find him, comb through the city, see if he's anywhere in sight. We have a few ideas of where he could be, and the police are just saying that it's an ongoing investigation, so they're not able to share much, and we can't, share all the details either because it's still ongoing, and we're don't want to interrupt the process of trying to find him.
But evidently the police could not step in soon enough, since the media appeals continued with the same concerns around Taylor Nicholson and Terrell Rhodes.
Taylor Nicholson,
Okay.
Rhodes.
How's the last name?
Rhodes.
Rhodes?
Rhodes.
Okay. Do you guys both live in Las Vegas then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I guess just tell me your thoughts. I mean, this is 2 days now without your son. What's going through your mind?
We're devastated and hoping for the best of his safe return, and just saying our prayers and hoping that God's looking out for him and that he's not in any type of distress or danger. We just want our baby back as soon as possible in the best condition possible.
Your
It's
thoughts?
going to the amount that the father's saying that his sister didn't come get him. And if that's really the case, then where's my son?
I mean, it seems to be, there's different stories floating around out there. I mean, can you just explain to me what you think happened?
He had got a knock on the door at 6 in the morning from a lady representing herself as Giorgio's sister, and then situation process, he's trying to call me to figure out what's going on, and I'm asleep in Colorado and I wasn't able to answer in time, so as he's packing the bag, she grabs the baby and comes out the apartment, and by the time he's able to try to go find where she went, she was nowhere to be seen.
So you think this was the father's sister?
Yes.
To my knowledge, yes.
And what is her name?
Jasmine Stovall.
Okay, and his sister. And why would she come there?
Not sure. They knew the area where we lived, but they never knew the apartment, so they stalked us until they were able to find where the baby was.
Why would she take him?
Because the dad wanted to be the father in the child's
He
life.
didn't want to see him getting raised by me and her. He wanted to be in his child's life with the rest of his kids. Apparently, he has a house. He has a stable foundation with 4 other more children, and the only missing piece was Amari.
I've always tried to be in the cordial parent, has never not allowed him to see him or contact him. I just always told him, as long as you put in the effort to be in the child's life and show that you're trying to be the father, then, that's fine. But he wasn't doing that. He wouldn't reach out, wouldn't call. It would always just be a message, and once in a blue moon. It was never consistent, never like he really wanted to do that. And then we had an argument on Monday, and then he did this on Wednesday.
So, you're saying that she came and took him. Has anybody talked to her at this point?
Police talked to her, we've called, they're denying everything. They've been searched, and he's nowhere to be found, so we're just waiting until he shows up somewhere.
So she's saying that I didn't take him.
Yes.
Right? So who do you know who went there with him in the first place then?
What do you mean?
With the hotel, who took Amari to the hotel? Was he?
What hotel?
It wasn't one. Weren't they staying at the Emerald Suites?
Yes, that's where we live.
That's where you live. Okay, I'm confused. So
we live at the Emerald Suites, and nobody knew which apartment or whatever, so they stood outside watching to see where we were.
Okay.
And then that's when they realized, they finally saw Amari, saw him with him, and then that's when they came knocking on the door.
So who was at the Emerald Suites that day then?
He was left with TREP.
With you? Okay, that's what I thought. And so, can you just explain what were you guys doing prior to, or what were you doing in the morning?
Before that occurred, we had just woke up. I had just fed him breakfast, and I was in the room on my phone at this time, laying down. He's in there playing with his toys, and all of a sudden there was a knock on the door, and it was a woman saying that she was her baby daddy's sister.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she was there to pick up my stepson.
Uh-huh. Did you know her? Do you know her?
I'd never seen any sides of her baby daddy's family, so
you didn't know this woman.
Recognized her.
So then what happened?
So then I go to proceed to, okay, I'm gonna pack him a bag up, pack some of his belongings up, and when that happens, I turn around to call her to tell her if this are this true, was this really prearranged? Mm-hmm. And as I'm doing that, she says she don't need anything from my stepson. They got everything they need for him, and basically just took off.
So you gave? Did she take him then at that point?
After that, she just basically said she got everything that she needs for him, and just left.
But you didn't know her though, correct? You never seen her. So did you not know this person you're letting take Amari away?
I mean, from my knowledge, I already was told like someone was going to stop by, somebody was going to, but I never knew who. So I still had that in my head that somebody was coming by.
Who said somebody was going to come by?
That's what I was notified from my girlfriend prior to those days leading up.
Okay, so did you tell him that somebody was going to come by and get him?
I never said anybody was coming to get anybody. But I did say somebody would be by. So with that being planted in his head,
That's what I took that as.
Took it as she was there for Amari.
So who do you think actually came to the door and took him away then? Do we even know?
We know, and police are investigating everything and doing the best of what they can to try to reach out to everyone and try to find him wherever he is.
And I'm sorry, just so I'm clear then, who do you think came to the door that day and took him away?
His sister.
His sister, okay. So do you think indeed that was the sister who came that day?
Yes.
To take the, okay. And what did she say to you? I mean, did you talk to her?
The words that we had were that she was there to pick up my stepson, and that she already had talked to my girlfriend about it. So when I turned around to go pack his bags up, get his few belongings together, she already said that she didn't need anything. They had everything for him, and that was it.
You didn't even give him all of his things and stuff then?
She didn't take anything.
She didn't take anything from you guys, okay. So now, did you okay the sister to come and get him?
No, but his family never knew where we lived. They knew the area, but not the apartment number. And I never spoke to anyone giving the okay for anyone to come and take him or have him or anything. They just showed up uninvited.
Okay, so you never told him that she was coming?
No.
But did you tell him somebody was coming?
Yes.
But did you tell him who was coming?
No.
No. So did you know exactly who was coming? You didn't know? Okay.
When she arrived, that's first thought I had in my head was, this was the someone, I guess, that was coming.
Okay. And sorry, just so I'm clear, I'm sorry I keep asking redundant questions, but so are you saying that the sister never had permission to come and get him?
Correct.
She just came and took him?
Yes.
Okay. And have you talked to her lately? So I think you just told me that.
No, I haven't spoken to him or to his family in a year and a half. That was the first time that Giorgio went to prison 3 years ago for abusing me while I was pregnant. And he got released last year around August, and he visited him 2 days while he was in town, and that was the only time Giorgio's ever met and seen Amari.
Okay.
So his family, that was the first time they had seen him, was the one day of the visit. They haven't been to contact me, they haven't showed any emotion towards this. They haven't contacted me to get the story. They haven't contacted me to see where he is. They're not telling me anything. And then he sends a video into the newscasting, and he's smiling in the video. He's not showing any type of emotion, like as if he's really a concerned parent. It's like he just wants the publicity from it.
So my understanding is he hasn't seen Amari much.
No.
Is what we were told.
I've been present.
You've been here, okay. So if he really hasn't been around, why do you think now all of a sudden he wanted to be around Amari?
We've always had, like I said earlier, I've always tried to be the cordial person, try to co-parent and whatnot. If he reaches out to me, I respond back. He's asked to see him a few times, but we haven't been able to make that arrangement work out yet. So he has asked to see him before. He has asked for him to come out there. He asked to have him for Christmas, and we had already booked plans before he had asked, so we weren't able to make that happen. So he has tried to, but like I said, he doesn't put in any effort into trying to, be a father in his life. So I'm not going to send my son to a complete stranger when, I've been through that, and I'm trying to give my son the best life that he can and not have to go through the things that I did in my childhood. So I'm telling him, be more involved, FaceTime more so he can recognize you, so he can get an idea of who you are. And he never wants to do that. He expects everyone to do what he says on his time.
Let me back up just for a second. So when they came over, you said you called her, right? And did you didn't talk to him right away?
No, I was still asleep, so my phone, I didn't hear the first few calls until it was already too late.
And when was it? How long was it when she came and took Amari till you actually finally talked to her?
This wasn't that long, probably like a minute.
Oh, just quick.
I called repeatedly until
Okay.
she answered the phone.
And then what did you do after she left with him?
I went running around the complex, just trying to search for any type of whereabouts or if I see anything.
So so when you finally did get a hold of her, what did you tell her?
I asked her, was anybody supposed to come get him? Was that who she was talking about when she said someone's going to be by?
And what did you say?
No.
I was in panic mode, and I told him no.
Okay, so now you're thinking, okay, I was not supposed to probably do that, or whatever the case, and then so you started running around, looking around. Can you tell me more about that?
There's nothing. I was running around around, found nothing, seen nothing. They were already gone.
He never handed the baby off to anybody. She took him.
So there was no reason to look. Now, when did you call police? And what did they tell you?
They came out and it was a misunderstanding, said it was a civil matter and stopped the pursuit of a missing child until I arrived into town at 3. And the plane landed at 2:30, so I made it home around 3. And that's when they started the actual investigation.
So when did you leave to go to Colorado?
I left on Friday.
About what time?
About 4.
4. Did you fly or drive?
I
Flew. And what time did the plane leave-ish?
like around 3:50.
3:50. And what airline was it?
Frontier.
Frontier. Okay. And tell me again why you were in Colorado.
My mom got attacked by a dog, and the dog ate her ligaments, chewed her foot up, and she needed surgery she was in surgery for 2 hours and got over 60 stitches in her foot.
Okay.
And so she's crippled on a scooter, can't walk, can't do anything. So I went out there to help take care of her.
And so you got there on Friday, correct?
Correct.
At what time did you get in? I'm sorry.
I got in around like 5 or 6.
5 or 6, okay. And then you stayed there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right?
Yeah, Wednesday's when I came back out here when I heard what happened.
And what time did the plane leave on Wednesday and get back here?
It left at 1:30 and it got here at 2:30.
2:30? Was it Frontier?
Yes.
Again? Okay. And I mean, what were you doing all this time after he told you this? I mean, were you just freaking out, or what were you?
Panic mode, freaking out, crying, screaming, just, my baby's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm hundreds of miles away and I can't go out and look for him.
But one thing that we know about media in the modern age is that it can spread very, very quickly. And this allowed Amari's paternal family a very, very quick right of reply, if you will. And the emotion and sincerity of the response from that side of the family not only muddied the waters, but actually started public opinion turning against Taylor Nicholson and Terrell Rhodes.
So the reason why we're here today is because it's been 6 days and we don't want the public to forget about Amari. We want to keep his name out there. We want to keep his face out there. We're asking that if anyone could help us get a billboard for Amari, that would be useful. If someone could help us with a website where the public could call in and give any type of tips that they have for Amari, that would be useful. We don't want him to be another story. We want people to remember Amari and help us bring him home safely.
Been updated at all on the police investigation? What's the latest? Any new information?
It's an active investigation, so there's only so much that the police can tell us. We do know that they're using all their resources to help us find Amari, but we still don't have any leads, which is why we're continuing to come out and ask for people to continue to look for Amari and help us find him. We need the public's help.
Also, the family has been out searching, going door to door, is that right? Could you describe for us what your efforts have been?
Yes, we've been staying in this area mostly. There are other search teams out and about in the city looking, but basically what we're doing is just trying to jog people's memory, get his picture out there, keep him in everyone's mind, and remind everyone it's 6 days and there's still a 2-year-old and we have no idea where he is.
I have a question for Margarita. Was there an Amber Alert issued in this case, and if so, why not?
So the Amber Alert Nevada criteria is the child has to be taken with a vehicle description, and there is no vehicle description. We also don't have a suspect description. So those are 2 criterias for the Amber Alert Nevada. They are different in every state, but this is unfortunately what Nevada's criteria is. But what has been issued and what was activated is missing endangered child alert, which is what Metro has activated and also our agency. So if you're watching this and you shared that flyer, thank you, because you made the difference. There have been tips that have come in, but unfortunately we don't have that information that goes directly to law enforcement. And we just need more people to just come out. And I know you've been probably out here. We've had hundreds of volunteers come and help share flyers, but we can't stop. We're not going to stop until he's found.
Do you feel confident that Amari's not with anyone on the paternal side of the family? Do you know everyone in your family, right? And if the person said that they were on the paternal side, is there any possibility that someone on your side of the family has him, or you've ruled that out?
There's no possibility that anyone on our side of the family has him. And that's why we're out here, to try to figure out who does have him. Someone has to have seen something.
Have you been in contact with the mother's side of the family? Are they helping? And I know yesterday you said, not pointing fingers or any of that, but what's their involvement? And are they trying to help too?
We have not been in contact with the mother's side of the family. We are open to working with her. We want her to know that we want to help her find Amari. Like I mentioned before, we're moms. I can't imagine what it's like to not have your son at home for 6 days in a row and have no idea where he is. So we want to help her find her son.
What is your reaction to knowing that she's not out here with you guys trying to help?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. And I don't want to speculate because I don't want her to feel like we're against her. But we're here to help her. We want to help her find her son.
Have you guys talked to anybody at Emerald Suites, any managers? Do you know if the video was working at the time, the camera system?
That's a part of the investigation that the police is conducting right now.
Have you talked with any neighbors who knew Amari or his mother?
We've talked to neighbors, and I mean, we're just not getting on any leads on where he could be. And that's why, it feels like we've exhausted what we could do here for now. And that's why we want to reach out to people everywhere. We do want everyone in the country to know, because it's been 6 days and he could be anywhere.
You heard that Amari had a plane ticket to go to Colorado with his mother, but ended up not going. Do you know anything about that?
We've only seen those stories on Facebook. We don't know for sure. And like I said before, it's an open investigation. There's only so much that they will tell us right now. So right now we feel like all of that is speculation until the police come to us and say that that's a fact.
What's next for you guys today? Are you going to continue handing out flyers, or what would you like to be done?
We're going to continue to hand out flyers in different parts of the city. But like I said, we need more. We need more resources.
Yeah, and what's our plea today as well is to just let the public know that you can call Nevada Child Seekers. Our phone number is 702-458-7009. I will drive to you and I will give you flyers if you want to hand them out in Pahrump or any part of the city. If you are out of state and you want to share and be a part of this, I will mail you flyers. There's nothing we won't do to help bring them home.
What do you want people to know about Amari and his personality and beliefs?
Right. What we want is for people to connect this to them. Think about a 2-year-old that you know. Think about what a 2-year-old can do. How far can a 2-year-old go? How well can a 2-year-old communicate? And that's why we're devastated. If anyone has had a child or has been around a 2-year-old, you know how defenseless they are at this age. And that's why we need help. We need resources. We need to get Amari's name out there. We don't want people to forget about him the same way they wouldn't forget about the 2-year-old at their house. So just think about how you would feel if this was your 2-year-old and you hadn't seen him in 6 days and no one knew where he could possibly be for 6 days.
How is Amari's father holding him?
The best he can.
The best he can, yeah. There's not much that he feels defenseless. Like, there's not much that he can do to bring his son home. And he also has no idea where his son is. He has other children too that he's trying to be strong for. But what can you do in this situation? Like, there's no handbook for how to feel or how to handle this.
So we had a plausible but confusing story of a child abduction playing out in the full glare of the media spotlight. But it seems that the story would tragically end almost as quickly as it had started. And this began with the searches of the Las Vegas and Colorado homes. And this led to a very worrying discovery. When blood was found on the wall of Rhodes' home, he was, unsurprisingly, taken in for questioning. And he was vehemently denying having any involvement in Amari's disappearance, but the drama was far from over. During interrogation, it seems that Rhodes had something of a meltdown, and whether it was all part of a subterfuge or whether it was desperation from the arsehole, it culminated in Rhodes grabbing for a police officer's gun. After this situation was resolved, Rhodes eventually broke in the more conventional sense of interrogation and admitted to repeatedly punching the toddler with a closed fist after the little man had wet himself. What an absolute unforgivable arsehole. About a week after he was first reported missing, little Amari Nicholson's body was found near a wall behind a pair of commercial apartment buildings. Rhodes was obviously kept in prison as the investigation continued, and he was indicted by a grand jury on May the 28th. The coroner's report and verdict was released on the 29th of June 2021, with the coroner declaring Amari's death as a homicide by unspecified means. As well as Amari's murder, Rhodes was also facing 2 counts of attempted murder with a deadly weapon, 4 counts of assault on a protected person with a deadly weapon, and 4 counts of resisting a public officer with a firearm. And it won't surprise you to learn that the additional charges stemmed from the altercation in the interrogation room during which Terrell Rhodes grabbed an officer's gun as he was being taken into custody. And we saw that clip earlier showing what he did when he had his meltdown. Now, we know that the legal process is often beset by delays, and the trial was originally set for April the 10th, 2023. But this was pushed back to September of 2023, and further delays followed. But on April the 25th, 2024, Rhodes entered a guilty plea in court as part of a plea deal. Terrell Rhodes, who was 30 years old by this time, pled guilty to first-degree murder and assault on a protected person with a deadly weapon. Rhodes admitted to murdering 2-year-old Amari Nicholson in May of 2021. Rhodes appeared in Clark County District Court with his defense attorney, Robert Langford, to enter his guilty plea. And this deal stipulated a sentence of 20 years to life. I know which side of that I am on. Judge Jacqueline Bluth said that while she does not have to go along with the terms of the plea deal, after speaking with attorneys on both sides, she does intend to go along with it. Bluth told Rhodes that he could face a life sentence for the murder charge and a sentence of 1 to 6 years for the assault charge, and there would be legal wrangling after that to determine whether this would be consecutive or concurrent.
The man accused of killing 2-year-old Amari Nicholson entered a plea in court today. Court records show that Terrell Rhodes agreed to plead guilty to first-degree murder and assault on a protected person. The second charge stems from an in-custody fight for an officer's gun following Rhodes' arrest. Rhodes admitted to murdering 2-year-old Amari Nicholson, his girlfriend's son, back in May of 2021. The guilty plea agreement states that the parties agreed to 20 years to life for the murder charge, with the possibility of parole after 20 years.
This is a case which many hoped would have a different outcome. A child was reported missing, then this turned into a murder case. Now, nearly 3 years later, the killer admitted in open court he murdered the child.
How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty. 30-year-old Terrell Rhodes in court Thursday pleading guilty to first-degree murder and assault on a protected person with a deadly weapon. That's after he lied in May of 2021 during the search for 2-year-old Amari Nicholson, his girlfriend's son, who he had been babysitting.
What's really sickening is that people is making assumptions, thinking that I have something to do with it, that I have her manipulated in some way, which that's sickening to me also, because he loves us.
Rhodes confessed to police a couple of days later, saying he hit Amari numerous times, causing his death, and then buried the child's body near the Emerald Suites here on Paradise. And then during an interview with detectives, he pulls a loaded gun out of Detective Opaldeed's holster. After a struggle,
I'm resisting! Grab the cop's gun, will you relax?
Rhodes is restrained and taken to jail.
Are you Mr. Rhodes?
Amari's mother, Taylor Nicholson, spoke with the 8 News Now investigators after Rhodes' first court appearance.
I had trust in him, and I would have never fathomed that this would have been the outcome. It It's horrible.
Do you have any questions you'd like to ask me before I go and accept your plea? Okay.
Through his guilty plea, Rhodes could face 20 years to life in prison for the murder charge, 1 to 6 for grabbing the detective's gun.
Is it yummy?
All after he took the life of a toddler who many hoped would be found safe and alive. Rhodes is scheduled to be sentenced on July 30th. Vanessa Murphy, 8 News Now.
What do you want to say about Amari?
He was an innocent soul. He loved pizza and oranges, and his favorite thing was cocoa melon. And he loved music and just running around dancing. He was always a happy baby, even when, times get hard or whatever, and you judge your character as a mother. He was always patient, and he loved everyone regardless of everything. And now with him being gone, it's getting difficult. You still see him running around, you still see everything, you still hear everything. And now we just gotta live through what he loves the most to keep his spirit close to all of us, and until that one time we could see him again.
How come it was important for you to come to court today?
Because this man betrayed me. He hurt me. He took my whole purpose of life away from me. And I don't want him to sit back and think that he's going to get this at all easy. He took a precious child away from many people. And he needs to pay attention to how we all feel, because this is not okay.
You can choose not to answer certain things, right? So I just want to be clear. But the public is suspicious of you. You're also a mother who lost a child. What do you want to say to address that?
I feel like it's hard for me right now. I can't grieve in peace. I can't grieve properly at all. I'm being advised to stay home because it's unsafe. I'm not being able to be included in any of this, and I'm the one hurting the most. My baby's gone. I can't. It's hard. And everyone in the public, we respect your reach outs for the ones who do actually genuinely care and at least are trying to understand just as we are. And for the ones with the negative comments, we're still in court. I can't, it's very limited for things to be able to be said in the first place. And the negative comments is horrible. My son's up there looking down on all this, and he loved everyone for anything. And to sit here and see that this has brought hatred out of people when we're mourning over a child, that's horrible. He would not want that.
And so, did you believe Terrell when he said a woman came to pick up Amari?
I did. I had trust in him, and I would have never fathomed that this would have been the outcome. It is horrible.
Was there ever a point before his arrest where you didn't believe him?
No, not necessarily didn't believe, just started being more aware of the signs until on Wednesday when we went to Metro.
But in terms of the shitstorm of this whole story, we're still not done. As Taylor Nicholson, the mother of Amari, was arrested on charges of prostitution.
And the mother of a toddler allegedly killed by her boyfriend, now arrested on prostitution charges. We are talking about Taylor Nicholson, who faced a judge today. She is charged with 3 counts of prostitution and 1 count of possession of a deadly weapon. Police say she offered sex to an undercover detective and had brass knuckles with her at the time. Her boyfriend is charged with killing her 2-year-old son, Amari. We'll update you on developments regarding his charges in just a moment. After Taylor faced the charges today in court, the judge released her on her own recognizance.
Your Honor, I would ask any release be conditioned on an order out of the resort corridor.
Her next court appearance is at the end of July. Christian.
And perhaps lost in all of this drama is the little 2-year-old boy who died at the hands of a violent and petulant man-child who was so big and brave that he lost his temper with a toddler who wet himself. There can be no excuses for this abhorrent behaviour, and I truly hope that this man remains in prison for the rest of his life, ideally suffering paper cuts upon which lemon juice and salt are poured. While we then take the time to remember the handsome little man whose life hadn't even really begun. Tributes were of course paid to this beautiful and innocent child.
Today, the family of 2-year-old Amari Nicholson came together to honor his life. Thank you for joining us on 8 News Now at 5. I'm Brian Loftus.
And I'm Denise Valdez. Now, this is a story that we've been following since he initially went missing back in early May.
After nearly a week of searching, Amari's body found last Wednesday near Paradise and Twain. That's where Kate Houston is with this emotional moment for Amari's family.
Yes, well, just a few hours ago, family, friends, and community members gathered at this growing memorial outside of Emerald Suites. Now, here you can see there are dozens of candles, teddy bears, and messages, all honoring a life gone too soon. Around 50 people gathered to release white and blue balloons in Amari's honor. Local organizations, Nevada Child Seekers, and Bikers Against Child Abuse were here to support the family. Many wore shirts with Amari's face and the message, "Fly High." Family members say they want Amari to know he was loved and they will never forget him.
Even though we didn't get the outcome that we wanted, we hope that this raised awareness about how important children are and how important it is that you protect your children.
We want to thank Las Vegas. Oh my God. Even though there was not an Amber Alert, this community was the alert. This community lit a light that shined all over the United States.
Now, at this time, the family says there are no set funeral arrangements. Now, back out here live, while Amari's father's side of the family was here at this memorial, Amari's mother was not present. Reporting live tonight from Paradise and Twain, Kate Houston, 8 News Now.
Happy baby, yeah. Nothing more, nothing less. And he is not suffering. No more. No more.
Loved ones and strangers coming together tonight to remember Amari Nicholson.
A vigil was held at the complex where he lived. It's not far from the spot that police found his body today. We do thank you for joining us on 8 News Now at 11. I'm Brian Loftus.
And I'm Denise Valdez. The community coming out in large numbers to show support for Amari's family tonight as they begin their fight for justice.
We have team coverage tonight. Sasha Loftus spoke with Valley mothers who felt compelled to honor the little boy. But we start with Orko Manna with how family, friends are planning to try to move forward. Orko?
Well, Brian and Denise, loved ones are still numb tonight. They can't believe Amari is gone, but they're honoring his life and legacy with these balloons, candles, flowers, and messages. As they grapple with grief, their focus now is on getting justice.
For it to be so close to home, it hurts.
Loved ones light candles, the flickering flames spelling out the name Amari, the 2-year-old boy whose bright light was put out far too soon.
Justice for Amari! To fight for him!
Close family friends remembering him as a beautiful boy and special soul.
He was a happy baby. He should be remembered as a happy baby. Yeah. Nothing more, nothing less. And he is not suffering. No more. No more.
The shock and sadness is still setting in. Amari's body was found Wednesday, causing overwhelming emotion, but not enough closure.
Anger, confusion, a little bit of peace. But just mainly still want to know why. Yeah. And how could somebody hurt an innocent baby?
As they search for answers, those who knew Amari are trying to figure out what to do now that he is no longer with us.
Go home, pray, talk to Amari. Just hopefully he's looking down on all of us.
Family and friends are bracing for the days and weeks ahead, and they're relying on their faith to give Amari the justice he deserves.
Give it to God. At the end of the day, it's God has the last word, has the last say.
Loved ones tell us they're focusing now on the legal process and say they'll do whatever they have to do to make sure Amari's killer stays behind bars. Reporting live in Las Vegas tonight, Orko Manna, 8 News.
This video is, of course, dedicated to this beautiful little boy whose light was snuffed out before his life even began. I send love and condolences to his friends and family who must be grieving the loss of such a special child. Thank you for watching another episode of Murder of Crows. Please drop a like on the video if you liked it. Share and subscribe if you feel like it. Helps with the algorithm, so I'm told. But with that said, I'm Steve. This orange ball of fluff is Samson, and we will see you when we see you.
Say that you're ready, but you won't like it, you say